What's up, Jeremians? In today's video, I'll be talking about what I think is the best value for money PSR-S series keyboard that money can buy. I used to think that the PSR-S670 is the best value for money keyboard that a student who is quite an amateur, not really a professional yet, but will eventually need a lot of the features found on the S series, will be happy with a PSR-S670. However, with the launch of the PSR-S775, my view has changed. My opinion is that the PSR-S775 is actually great value for money, and because the PSR-S670 has been around for quite a while, and looking at the things that Yamaha has been doing, it does seem like perhaps the PSR-S670 or the S600 series might be eventually done away with. If we look at the PSR-E400 series, there has been more and more features that's been added on. We're talking about the quick sampling, and we're talking about promoting of the groove creator. A lot more functions has been assigned to the live control knobs, such that it is very, very similar to what the PSR-S670 can do. The other sign that I have been seeing is that the PSR-E400 series, Yamaha has removed the YES system, which is the Yamaha Education Suite, and the chord dictionary has been removed from there, which means that the PSR-E400 series is now geared towards more of the mid-level, serious hobbyist kind of enthusiast rather than a learner. So eventually we might see a segmentation whereby the PSR-E200 series and the PSR-E300 series remains as part of the learner keyboard series, and then we see the PSR-E400 series evolve into something else, and the highest end of the PSR-S series will remain to be the PSR-S775 and the PSR-S975. Let's look at why I think the PSR-S775 is great value for money and should be considered as the best choice if you need to get a PSR-S series keyboard. For a lot less money than the PSR-S975, the PSR-S775 has a lot of the things that is found in the flagship model. In fact, to me, 80% of the features on the PSR-S775 is similar to the PSR-S975. We are talking about similar casing, similar amplification, the speaker's wattage is the same, the power from there is the same, and I love the new matte black color on the PSR-775 and the PSR-975. So these are just more professional looking color. The polyphony is also the same at 128 notes polyphony. We also get the gorgeous 7-inch full color LCD screen as compared to the PSR-S670, which still had a very small 4.3-inch monochrome bluish color, very old tech, 5-6 years old kind of technology, dot matrix kind of screen, which doesn't give a very clear picture of what we're trying to do. It's not so legible. I love the new color screen on the PSR-S775. In addition, we have the two assignable live control knobs, which is also found on the E series as well, all the way to the PSR-S975, and they are all assignable, and you can mix and match what are the different functions that you want to affect using the live control knobs, and that's found on the PSR-S775. Most important of all, we have the pitch bend wheel and the modulation wheel, which is exactly the same as the PSR-S975 and for a lot less money. So the two big critical features that is missing from the PSR-S775 are the vocal harmony feature. If you are not going to be a performer who will need to plug in a microphone and sing with backing vocals and using the vocoder, you're actually paying for a feature that you're not going to use. So if you're not the singing kind of keyboard player, then I don't suggest that you get the PSR-975. The other thing that is missing from the PSR-S775 is the audio styles. It is true that audio styles gives a very lifelike style playing, drumming to the styles. That is because it is, after all, a real drummer, and we've got real instrumentalists that's recorded, and that is actually an audio style. However, if you look at the G-Nos, the audio styles has been dropped in favor of revo drumming. And the reason why is because the audio style is actually not very editable, is not very programmable, and you cannot even record it on the MIDI track of the PSR-S975. So that makes it quite useless if you need to do a recording. In fact, audio styles is falling out of favor so much that it is now available as a free download. So now anyone can actually go download the audio style files and load it up on their G-Nos, and you can play it direct from the USB stick without even loading it into the internal memory and eating up the memory space. So this is a very good sign that Yamaha will eventually drop the audio styles in the next version of the PSR series. And therefore, if you are a home hobbyist, if you're just a serious student learner and you're not really going to be performing, I would say that you won't miss it even if the audio styles are not there, because the Yamaha PSR-S775 provides more than 400 open styles. There are 387 pro styles and 30 session style files that you can use in your music creation. So I'm sure you will find something that is suitable for yourself. And I believe that if you want to make unique styles, you should delve into the style creator, which is found in the PSR-S775. And because the screen is nice and large and glorious in 7-inch rather than the small 4-inch monochrome on the PSR-S670, it's actually easier to go into editing the styles to make it unique to you. And you actually don't really have to even go and download styles, even though you can, because one thing good about the PSR-S775 is that there is now a lot more expansion memory space. And one thing is that the PSR-S670 has a lot of the older styles and not really updated, whereas the PSR-S775 has many of the G-Nos styles that has been inherited, like the Gojira style, which comes from the G-Nos and is now found on the PSR-S775 in the plus style section. And like I was saying, with the style creator, it is very easy to actually just edit certain parts of the style to make it unique. You can change and revoice certain drum kits, and you can also replace things like the guitars to a different kind of guitar for a different sound in the strumming pattern in the arpeggiators, and you can get quite a unique, different sounding style without having to make a style from scratch. A lot of people think that in order to make a unique style, you have to start from a style from scratch. But very often, if you find a similar style and you do a bit of tweaking here and there, you can actually get great results. And this is something that you cannot do with the audio styles, because the audio styles don't allow you to tweak very much at all. On the PSR-S670, there are 416 voices, but there are no super articulation voices. Whereas on the PSR-S775, there are more than 900 voices and more than 70 super articulation voices that really enriches the performance, because the super articulation voices are way more expressive than the usual cool and sweet voices. And when we look at the Yamaha expansion memory that you can use for downloading samples for more sounds, you realize that the PSR-S775 has memory space that's equivalent to 8 sets of the PSR-S670. So for what you're paying, you're actually getting real good value for money, because if you want a unique sound that is not already found in the keyboard, and even though there are loads of effects and filters that you can apply, but you don't want to go through that process and you want something that's already pre-made, you can actually load lots of samples that is available on the internet. In fact, you don't even need to download an official Yamaha sample. There are actually a lot of third-party sample manufacturers that makes great samples that you can download onto your PSR-S775. So the PSR-S670 has a very, very limited amount of memory space for loading of external samples. So whether you're a home hobbyist or you are going to be playing a keyboard with a band, or you're going to hook it up to a DAW, the PSR-S670 is just not going to give you the kind of value than the PSR-S775. Of course, previously when it was the PSR-S770, I couldn't really recommend it because it didn't have as much expansion memory, it didn't have as many styles, it didn't have as many new voices. Now there are more plus styles there. With all this new addition and with the price being the same as the previous PSR-S770, and it looks like the PSR-S670 is not going to be updated, It is my opinion that the PSR-S775 is the best value for money keyboard for most of the players out there. Of course, there will be certain exceptions if you happen to be a solo gigging musician that plays for weddings and events and you sing as well, then of course you have to get the PSR-975. But for most people, the PSR-S775 you'll be happy with, and I don't think you'll have any complaints about that. Till the next time, I hope you enjoyed this little video.